Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to find a missing side by using our trig function. So you have to know which trig function you're going to use based off of what they give you. So I have this angle of 30, but I have a side that's adjacent to that angle, and I have the hypotenuse. So which one has adjacent hypotenuse? And that happens to be the cosine. So we're going to do the cosine of 30 equals our adjacent over our hypotenuse. Now once we have it set up, we want to solve. To solve, we want the x by itself. So it's being divided, so I'm going to multiply this 8 to the other side. So it's going to be 8 times the cosine of 30 equals our x. If you multiply by 8 on both sides, you get rid of the 8 on one side. That's how we get this. And then you just press this into your calculator. If you press that into your calculator, you're going to get 4 radical 3 equals x. So we found our x. Now if we look at the next type of triangle, we want to look at what information is given to us and then figure out which trig function. So I have a hypotenuse, but I also have an opposite. Well, opposite and hypotenuse is your sine. So I have a sine, but I'm going to use the angle 45, equals the opposite, which is 10 over x. Now the other difference between this, besides the different trig function, is we have x on the bottom, not on top. So in this case, we're not going to multiply, we're going to divide, but we're going to divide by this. Basically, we're cross-multiplying x times that, and then dividing by the sine. So we end up with 10 over sine 45. So when x is on the bottom, you're going to divide by this sine function to get the answer. So if you press that in your calculator, you will get 10 radical 2 equals x. And so we solve these two different types. So we're going to use trig functions to find a missing side for a real world type of example. In this case, the height of a building. So we're not going to worry about the eye level of the building. All we're going to worry about is basically setting up the trig function and finding d. So we have the opposite and adjacent. Opposite and adjacent is the tangent function. So I'm going to write tangent, and of that degrees, which is 76, equals opposite, which is d over 200. And so I'm going to multiply by 200 to get d. So it'll be 200 times tangent of 76 equals d. If you do that in your calculator, you're going to get a decimal number. But I'm going to just round it to the nearest whole number, which is 802. And you do that in your calculators. So basically the height of this is 802, in this case feet, because that's a distance, or the length. And so that's our answer.